What happens when one of Hollywood's most seasoned actors walks into what's supposed to be a simple morning interview and ends up in one of the most awkward live TV moments ever aired? Today we're revisiting the tense on-air clash between Michael Douglas and The View, a conversation that spiraled from polite to explosive in just minutes. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment, because this one left both fans and producers speechless. At first, everything seemed normal. Michael Douglas walked onto The View stage with his usual calm confidence, ready to talk about his new film. He's been through hundreds of interviews, always smooth, collected, and charming. But from the start, something felt off. Joy Behar opened the segment with that familiar spark in her eye, the kind that longtime viewers know means she's about to stir things up. "So, Michael," she began, barely waiting for him to settle in. "Before we talk about the movie, I have to ask, how do you justify making millions when so many people can barely afford rent?" You could almost hear the audience gasp. Michael paused, caught completely off guard. "Well, Joy," he said carefully, "that's a pretty strong question to open with. I've worked hard for what I've achieved, just like anyone else." Joy didn't hold back. She shot back with a sharp tone. "Worked hard? You were born into privilege. Your father was Kirk Douglas. Some people don't get a head start like that." The mood shifted instantly. The other hosts exchanged uneasy looks. This wasn't the light, fun conversation they were expecting. Even Michael's publicist off-camera looked like they wanted to disappear. Michael tried to steady himself. "I think that's unfair," he said calmly. "Yes, my father was successful, but I've spent decades proving myself and building my own career." But Joy pressed harder. "You had doors open for you that most people never will," she said. "And now you sit here talking about hard work while people are struggling to keep their lights on." Whoopi Goldberg, trying to save the moment, gently stepped in. "Joy, maybe we should focus on the new film." But Joy waved her off. "No, this matters," she insisted. "Celebrities act like they're just like everyone else, but they're not." Michael's expression tightened. "Joy," he said firmly, "I didn't come here to be attacked. I came here as a courtesy to talk about my work." That's when Joy pushed even harder. "A courtesy? You're here to sell movie tickets and make yourself richer. Don't pretend you're doing us a favor." At that point, the tension in the studio was unbearable. Sarah Haynes kept her eyes on her cue cards. Sunny Hostin fidgeted nervously, and the audience didn't make a sound. Then came the turning point. Michael leaned forward, his voice cold but steady. "You want honesty, Joy? I've done thousands of interviews, and this isn't journalism. This is a hit job disguised as a conversation." That line stunned the room. Even Joy seemed taken aback for a moment, then smirked. "So, now I don't know how to do my job?" she said. "That's rich coming from someone who's never worked a real day in his life." Michael laughed, but there was no humor in it. "A real day? I've been working in this business for over 50 years. I've produced films, built companies, created jobs. What have you done? Besides tear people down from behind that desk?" The audience gasped. Nobody in all of The View's history had spoken to Joy like that on live TV. Joy's face turned red. "How dare you question my career?" she snapped. "I've worked hard for decades, without any family name behind me." Michael's voice grew sharper. "Then act like it. You're not interviewing me, you're attacking me. That's not hard-hitting journalism, it's just plain rude." By now the segment had completely gone off the rails. Producers behind the cameras were motioning wildly to cut to commercial, but the argument was too intense to stop. When Michael stood up, the studio went dead silent. "You know what your problem is, Joy," he said, pointing directly at her. "You think being confrontational makes you brave. It doesn't. It just makes you bitter." Joy stood up too, refusing to back down. The image of them both standing face to face looked more like a courtroom than a talk show. "Don't you psychoanalyze me, Michael Douglas," she snapped. "You've lived a pampered life." "You wouldn't last a day in the real world." Michael's composure cracked. "Pampered?" he repeated. "I've battled cancer. I've faced public scandals, family struggles, loss. But you wouldn't know that because you didn't bother to ask. You came here looking for a fight." The studio was frozen. Even Whoopi didn't know what to say. Joy crossed her arms. "Oh, please," she said. Spare us the pity party. You've faced your problems from a mansion. That's when Michael's tone changed again. Lower, steadier, and somehow more powerful. You think money erases pain. That's the most ignorant thing I've heard all day. It was no longer just TV drama. It felt like something real. Look around you, he said. You sit here every day in a multi-million-dollar studio, lecturing guests about privilege. You make more than most of the people you're defending. So, tell me, when was the last time you took the subway? Joy went silent. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback. Michael continued, his voice calm but razor sharp. You claim to stand up for ordinary people, but all you do is attack anyone who disagrees with you. You don't uplift anyone, you just spread anger. That line landed like a punch. Finally, he stood straight, adjusted his jacket, and said, I came here to talk about my film. Instead, I've been insulted, interrupted, and treated like an enemy. I don't have to put up with that. As he turned to walk off the set, Joy tried one last jab. So, that's it? You're walking away because things got tough? Michael stopped, looked back, and said calmly, I've faced tougher things than this. I just choose not to waste my time on disrespect. And with that, he walked off. The camera lingered on Joy's face, flushed, silent, and visibly shaken, before the show abruptly cut to commercial. In under 15 minutes, a simple interview had turned into one of the most talked-about moments in The View's history. Now, to be fair, everyone has bad days, hosts and guests alike. But in my opinion, this was one of those rare times when a celebrity refused to play along with the talk show script. And the result was unforgettable. So, what do you think? Was Michael Douglas standing up for himself, or did he go too far? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from behind the cameras of Hollywood's wildest moments.